Hey, hey, hey. Let me see who's up in here. But before then, welcome to the Real MoJo Show, where the truth has a mic and authenticity has center stage. I'm your host, Missy Jomo, and today we're pulling back the curtains to something we all do, but barely talk about. It's called Behind the Mask. How are we really showing up? Let me ask you something. When was the last time you showed up as your full self? No edits, no filters, no Snapchat. No, I'm fine mask when you're really suffering in silence. Check this out. Hmm. Does that strike a bell with any of you out there? Because I know it kind of touched me a little bit. So, before we continue, we are going to say hey to all those in the chat. Is my real fam here? Let's see. Drop a line if you are on. Drop a line, subscribe, and like this video because we are going to dig in deep and you are going to want to come back and listen to it again. So drop a hiya if you are in the chat. Let me see. But for now, we are going to keep going, okay? All right. So here's the question that we're digging into today. Why do we feel like we have to hide who we are to be accepted? It seems like when we're at work, we put on our professional mask, showing our competency, that we're competent even when overwhelmed. In the family, we put on our strong face, and the social and this, the social media mask, which we just watched. We curate this perfect life that we're living. If you're being honest with yourself, you know that you are guilty. So I want to say that these masks aren't necessarily fake. They're survival. But when the mask becomes the only face that we show up in, we risk losing touch with our authentic selves. Okay, so here's the question. What what do you think would happen if you stopped performing and if you started showing up as yourself? What's the cost of always pretending to be okay, and um, how we make our mask, how we let our mask almost be a protection for us and give people the impressions of us? Let's take it back. Think about your childhood, okay? Who taught you to hide parts of yourself? Who told you that being too emotional, too loud, too sensitive, that it was a problem? Was it your family? Maybe it was school. Maybe it was church. Was it social media? Or was it just survival? You know, when you think about it, some masks aren't chosen, they're stitched out of pain. But what is the cost of hiding is the question. You ever feel exhausted and really can't figure out why? Maybe it's not your schedule. Maybe it's the emotional labor of performing every single day. I'm not an actress, but I can only imagine those long performances day after day, how it can really just wear you out. So, some of y'all are smiling in the room when your soul is screaming. Sound familiar? Some are succeeding outwardly while dying quietly. I call that suffering in silence. So, what we're going to do is, while we have this discussion, I'm going to drop a link because if you feel like you have something to add to this conversation, I want you to come on and share. Let's see who's in the room. I see Uncle Benno has come in the room, and Uncle Ben says, behind the mask. I like the topic already. All right. Yes, because we can wear some mask, Uncle Ben. So um, let me get back. So as I was saying, suffering in silence. So I have a question. What mask are some of you wearing at work? Because I know that I wear them. It's unfortunate. And as I said before, a lot of times it's survival because I have to go to work and I have to let them know, especially, and forgive me for saying this, especially me as a Black African American female, I cannot allow them to see me sweat because if they see me sweat, then they discount me very quickly. So I have to put on this mask that I have it all put together. And yes, I would love to think I have it all put together, but honestly is we are not perfect in any area of our life. We're not perfect at work. We're not perfect at home. We're not perfect at church. So sometimes we do some pretending. Are you with me? If you're honest, you're with me, and you'll let me know in the chat if it's resonating with you. So what's the question I have is, what's the mask you wear at work? I'm going to actually type that and see what responses we have. What's wear at work? All right. So the question right now is, what is the mask you wear at work? Okay. So while I have y'all think about that, I have another question for you. Uh-oh, I lost my place. Who do you pretend to be in your relationship? Now, we're getting a little more serious. Are you pretending to be something that you aren't? Well, I have a story for you. I, when you are wearing a wig to bed, you are pretending to be something that you aren't. Let me tell you, when I used to start relationships, I would actually put on a wig and I would sleep in the wig because I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to take my wig off in front of. I didn't want to take off my wig in front of anybody, especially if we are just meeting. So I would go to sleep in the wig, but just like on the video we saw before, I would also wear makeup to bed because I did not want anyone to see me without makeup. So let's see. Has anyone answered? Let me see. Ben says, I think sometimes the mask is needed, at other times you just be you. I would certainly agree. Um, there's definitely times you just need to be your authentic self. And I would love for you to share with me, Ben, sometimes that you feel that way because I know that we okay, I'm gonna speak for me. Maybe I'm the only one. I know that sometimes in front of my children, I try to act and be something I'm not. I try to act like I'm strong, I have it all together, when truthfully I am breaking down inside. We try to protect our children thinking that they're not old enough, they're not mature enough, they're not this, they're not that. But the trouble is you just delay their learning and learning who they are. When they see your mom and you're always strong, then the day that you break down crying, they think, oh my gosh, the world is ending. You don't want that. You want your kids to see your authentic self. If you're sad, be sad. Now, I'm not saying like, falling all out and everything, but let your kids know your true feelings because it is really necessary. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're talking about our authentic selves. Um, drop a note in the comments if you have ever not showed up not being your authentic self. If you have showed up wearing a mask. So as I was saying, with our children, we always try to protect them. But there's times that we just need to be authentic with our children. Show them a mom can cry. When you're sad, you cry. When you're happy, you smile. And when you're mad, be mad. Um, let them know that these emotions are natural. You do not have to put on a mask yourself. Um, so who do you pretend to be in your relationships? That's a question. And let me ask you this question. What would it look like if you just showed up real? So if you didn't take the time to put on your, I'm going to say your makeup, your hair, your eyelashes, your lipstick, us as women, we wear these things called body magic. You know what I'm talking about. If you've ever worn a body magic, you are not showing up as your authentic self. Okay, you are showing up as yourself with a body magic. Hi, Yinka. Good evening, Yinka. Thank you for stopping by. Drop a comment. We are talking about wearing masks. Share with us a time that you felt that you had on a mask and that's how you showed up. So, as I was saying, if you're wearing your girdle, women, y'all know what I'm talking about. That is not showing up your authentic self. But remember, I also said that sometimes we put on a mask because it's survival. Um, we know that if we present ourselves, let's just say in a business arena, that we want to, you don't want to just show up, um, not looking very well, not prepared very well. Your hair is all over your head. You wearing the wrong size clothes. So of course you're gonna put on your best face to show up. And okay, I see you, Ben. I see you. Let's add Ben to the screen. Uh, Beno, welcome, welcome, Ben. Uh oh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. I just want to move away from the family. They are doing something and talking in the background. How are you doing, Missy?
I am good. Thank you, Ben, for joining us.
Yeah, I can't miss the show. So
So,
what's popping, Missy?
uh oh, I'm not hearing you very well.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now. Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Let me just switch. I think I need to connect my audio to my Bluetooth. Just a minute.
Okay.
Why? You hear
So,
me?
while you're doing that, I'm just going to remind. So, the question is,
Oh,
what do you, how do you show up?
I hear you now.
You,
Okay, just hold on.
okay,
I'm missing something here. Oh, okay. I see. All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Oh, all right, sorry. Let me just switch it back. I don't know why I can't hear you while I'm using my AirPod.
Okay, you can come back in.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's up, Mama? What's going on?
So, we're talking about wearing masks. And I was just saying, we all do. We all put on a mask at one time or another. We don't show up as our authentic self. So the question that I have is it dangerous to wear a mask? Should we always show up authentically? Or what is your take?
Uh, Frankly speaking, I would say people should do what works for them, but to be honest, in reality, for me, I choose to be my authentic self at any time. I like to be myself. I don't want to sugarcoat anything. I just want to be me. So, um, I think there are times where I'm not blaming or judging anybody who wanna appear to be someone else. Don't get me wrong, okay? But I just feel like depending on what type of mask you're talking about, if it is in terms of who we pretend to be or not, because I really don't get the concept. Is it wearing a mask in terms of trying to hide our true feelings, or just try to conceal the pain of whatever we're going through?
So it's a little bit of all of that. So I played a video at first. The video showed how people on social media, they put up their best face, like they show. One of the scenes was a lady coming and taking a picture with her, I guess her boyfriend, and he's not really happy, and he doesn't really want to take the picture. She takes the picture, she doesn't like it, so she tries to take it again, and he's irritated. But then she goes in the other room and says, "The love of my life, like life is good, life is wonderful, but really and truly that you can see that that relationship is struggling." Or another picture was someone had this nice was texting with a maybe a love interest, and they had a neat space on their desk that they created just to take a picture and say, "Hey, I'm organizing myself." But then when the camera goes off, it goes to the other side of the desk, and there's leftover food and trash and
Oh
everything
my
just
God.
sitting there. So so they're not being authentic. They're showing a counterfeit of themselves. So basically, when I talk about a mask, I'm saying like in most cases being a
Being
even
who
more
you are.
counterfeit self.
Yeah.
But and we're saying like, is it dangerous? or do is it necessary sometimes that we need to put on a mask, or what are your thoughts?
I see what you're talking about right now. I think this has to do more with people faking a lifestyle. That's what I'm thinking right now. I think it's about people faking lifestyles that does not show their true authentic self.
Right.
So in the example you gave, like, how can you be on camera saying one thing, and then when the camera pan to the other side, we get to see the mess you've created already. So you see, so that is not being yourself, that is not being your authentic self. So I wouldn't support people wearing that type of mask, because behind that pretending is somebody who is suffering. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's why people sometimes take their own life.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I
So I won't advise anybody to pretend. Just be your authentic self. It makes life more, uh can I say, it makes life easier if you adjust yourself. It means you are contented with who you are. You don't have any need to try to be someone else. You feel me?
Yeah.
Um, Me personally, being my original self is one thing that has worked for me multiple times, because when people come in contact with me, they can easily read me. They can easily tell what kind of person I am. And I don't have to try to be someone else for anybody. I am just who I am at any time, any day. So whether it's at work, at home, online, offline, it's just me. So if you ask me, I don't support it.
And I get you there, because trying to be something you aren't is exhausting. Well, at least it's exhausting to me. I don't know how I've done it, so I can say yes. I've tried to put on the fake life, the whole internet thing. Look at my wonderful life while I was suffering in silence.
Mhm.
And then the thing about putting on that mask, sometimes you actually lose who you are, because I remember when I was in the university, I felt like I had to be so many different people that at a time I was like, well, Margie, who the hell are you? I didn't even know who I was anymore, because I had too many masks that I kept switching on and switching out. So when I was with this group, I had this mask on. When I was with this group, I had this mask, to
Oh,
the point where
jeez.
I didn't know who I was. And, but
Don't do it.
since
Please
you
don't do it, Missy. Honestly, life is so easy when we are our true authentic self. Life is super, super easy. You basically have nothing to worry about. You feel me?
Mhm.
Um, I'll be with you shortly. Somebody is trying to reach me, please. I'm right here. I ain't going nowhere.
Okay, no problem. So we have to the ones closest to us we should not be wearing a mask but show up as our authentic self. I 100% agree with that. But can you ever think of times that we maybe showing up as not our authentic self? It's okay, because I'm going to give you an example. So, um, we um, one day I came from work, and I'm going to say my husband had, good news. And so I came home from work and he shared the news. And I really wasn't inside. I was really dying, but I had to fake it. I had to put on my mask and say, "Oh, I'm so happy, honey." Even though inside I was not happy. So you tell me, was that a good move to make, or should I have been truthful with myself and my husband and let him know, "Hey, babe, you know what? I'm happy for you, but I'm just not feeling it today." I don't know. So tell me what you think. Um, Interest. Oh, thank you, Miss Timmy. Miss Timmy says it's an interesting topic. Topic, and and I thought so too because a lot of times we feel like we are on an island by ourselves. That when we're going through things, that we have to put on a mask. If everyone else around us is okay, we have to act like we're okay, and that's just not the case. Sometimes we need to be our authentic self. So here's the truth, taking the mask off is sometimes scary, and vulnerability is not always cute. It's messy. And I understand that that's why a lot of times we put on masks, but it's also where the real connection starts is when you can be authentic. The connections, the kind of connections that don't change. And the reason why I say this is because I'm gonna give you an example. When you come into a relationship, so when you start a relationship now, unless it's unless it's only me, when you start a relationship, you put your best foot forward. You you come, you're always well groomed, smelling good. Um, you know, some of us who can't cook, I can cook, but some of us who can't cook may invite our interest over for dinner and order takeout and bring it and put it in our own containers. And then our interest eats and thinks, oh, wow, how wonderful this food is. And then all of a sudden you go from the courtship to the marriage, and all of a sudden you are asked to go cook in the kitchen and your food tastes like trash. So then he's like, hey, wait a minute. When I was coming to your home before, you were giving me a good meal. And now this is not tasting or living up to what you presented to me initially. So those are the kind of masks that we make. But if you think about it, if we would start that relationship authentic and say, hey, you know what? I don't know how to cook. So you're going to either take me like this or you're not going to take me at all. At least on that level of not showing this fake face that your interest already knows the angle that you're coming in at, that they already know you can't cook. So from there, they can decide are they going to proceed with the relationship or not. But in this way, the connection continues to build and not shrink. So as time goes by, when your true self starts to come out, and then that's when the disconnect, the fear of the disconnect can come in. So let's talk about it. Let's normalize it. Let's heal out loud. And if this hits home for you, share it. Share with a friend, with a partner, and share with yourself. Let's see if Ben is there before I go into it. I just want to say that we were not created to be a copy of someone else. We were just created to be ourselves, and we all add something unique to this world. Someone just came in. Welcome, welcome. Good evening to you. We all have something to share. So that's why we are all different and unique. And you shouldn't really focus so much on wearing masks because it doesn't allow your true self to shine. Um, Remember that you were made to be you, you were made to be raw, you were made to be real, you were made to be unfiltered. But I understand in a day of social media, we seem like we can't get past the filters. I remember when I was first on camera, I was like, "Hey, this camera don't have any Snapchat filters." It almost gets to a point where you don't even want to see yourself authentically, and that is very scary. Can anybody resonate with that? Any of you or your friends always using Snapchat to post your pictures on Facebook or on WhatsApp or whatever apps? If you're being honest, yes, you know. Hi, Dr. Charlotte. Welcome, welcome. We are talking about removing the mask. Well, initially we were talking about how are we showing up. I was putting out the questions of how do you show up each day? How do you show up at work? How do you show up at home? How do you show up at church? Um, don't get me going there because the way people show up at church, I'm just going to say, let the church say amen. And I'm going to keep going because I've seen some masks at the church, but I'm not going to go there. One of y'all can go there, but I'm not going there. And that's actually the reason why a lot of people, they run from the church because they see people one way in the church, and then when they encounter them outside of the church, they're a totally different person. That's wearing a mask, and that's not showing up as your authentic self. So I know that there are times that we have to come in with a mask. I gave the example of work, but are there other times that any of you think, yes, we have to come in with a mask? We have to show up with a mask, or are there times that we just simply should just show up as ourselves? Chime in the chat. Let me see what you have to say. Um, let's get the conversation going. Let's see. Let's see. I do have a question for you all though. Let's take it back to your childhood. Um, was there ever times in your childhood that your parents didn't allow you to be yourself? Because that is something that really I've noticed with my own mothering. Sometimes you kind of don't allow your children to evolve into their true selves, and then they end up in their own selves thinking that they have to wear their own mask. So really wearing masks and not showing up as yourself can be really dangerous. But we all have done it. We all have done it, but we have to work hard to be more authentic than wearing our mask. Let me see if Uncle Ben is back yet. Are you back, Uncle Ben? Okay, he's not back yet. So a lot of you came on late. And so what I'm going to do while I wait for Uncle Ben to come back, I am going to play that video again since some of you missed it, and why I am doing this video, why I'm doing this podcast tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and show it to you again so that you will understand why I am here with this. Okay, let's do it. So that is exactly the example of what I'm talking about showing up with a mask on. To me, that is just too exhausting. So I'm just here today to just encourage you, show up more as your authentic self. As necessary as it is in occasions to put on a mask, make sure that you are showing up authentically more than you are in a mask. Remember, like I said, you're not meant to be a copy. You're not meant to show someone how wonderful your life is, because your life will naturally show itself. And then everybody's interpretation of wonderful, good, super life is different. So some, even if you feel like you are at your lowest, there's someone still looking up to you. So you want to show up as authentic as you can to show people like, hey, I'm not a millionaire, but my life is good where I am, and I am happy and I am content. And when you aren't happy and when you aren't content, it's okay to be that too. Um, of course, we do not have to let the world know, and so those are the times when we have to show up. That's those are the times we have to show up with a mask, because we don't want the world to know when we're not feeling, right, when our life is not going the way we want. But as someone said in the chat, at least let your at least let the people closest to you, your family, the close people know. So someone said, but I like my mask. It's okay. It's okay to show up with your mask occasionally. The only point I'm trying to make is don't lose yourself in your mask. They don't know I'm bio. They made me this way. I don't understand. I don't understand fully the comment, but it is okay for you to, like I said, there are occasions that you wearing a mask is necessary. But the only thing I'm saying is don't show up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year wearing your mask. Because if you do, you will certainly lose yourself. Um, as I was telling Ben, I was so many different people at different times. I didn't even know who I was at the end of the day. And it came to a point where I was crisscrossing people. I was putting on the wrong mask with the wrong people at times. So, um, yeah, exactly. So it just became exhausting. So let me see if there's any questions or any comments or in the chat. If you are wanting to come on screen and share your experience, I will drop the link again before we get out of here today. There goes the link. Let me see. There's the link in the chat. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I lost my chat. The screen went off. What is going on? Okay, if you put a comment in the chat, for some reason my chat just completely went off. So I'm going to drop the link again just in case it went off on your side too. So the link is in the chat. Come on. You have a good night. Third eye. Thank you for coming on. I don't know why the chat went out. Okay, so if you left a message in the chat, drop it again because I'm not seeing it. My whole chat just disappeared. Not sure what happened, but you're welcome to drop your chat again. If not, we are going to end this show until we check one more place. Uh-oh, I see a chat. Okay, Dr. Shirlette says, it depends on where I am. I feel like we are all chameleons. You know what? That is true, Dr. Shirlette. I would have to agree. And if anyone does not agree, that at some point they have lived, currently living, have lived some part of their life as a chameleon, they're not being honest because I know that I have. Thank you, Dr. Charlotte, for adding that. Some people would not admit, but I'm glad that you were able to drop that in the comment. But all right, well, my Mojo family, we're gonna wrap it up. We have one more comment before I wrap it up. I show up as myself when I get home. Yes, and you should. That's when we should be able to be the most vulnerable, is when we are home with our family. No need to show up as someone else because, they're going to love us and accept us. And that's generally what we want anyway. We want people to love us and accept us for who we are, not for the mask that we wear, because then they don't know who we truly are. And um, it's an example is when people are playing like they are rich. People sometimes start to love them because of their riches that they think that they have. But the thing about pretending that you're rich, if you're not a believer, if you don't believe in speaking your destiny into existence, be not until they are. If you don't speak it, if you just pretend it and don't know how to work the word, then one day you're gonna reveal to those people that you really aren't rich and you don't really have much to offer. And when that mask come off, it's such a disappointment, and you disappoint yourself and you disappoint others. But I don't see any more chats. Okay, let's see. I tend to try to stop my daughter from behaving in ways that mimic the behaviors I don't like in myself. She's my twin. OMG. Um, oh, are you there? Let me bring you up. Oh, I see you. I'm sorry. So yes, Charlotte, Dr. Charlotte, I totally agree. Um, Yes, that's all I can say. I'm not going to say too much, but I totally agree. One of my daughters. It's so funny. I have two daughters, and they both have parts of my personality. So I try to uh, move that not so good part of my personality out of them. But at the end of the day, they are going to be who they are. Welcome, welcome to my show.
Hey, Missy, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you for
Okay, hi. My name is Habiba. I'm Biba in the chat.
Hi, Viva.
Yeah, how you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, just wanted to come on briefly. Yeah, because it's an interesting topic. And also thank you for replaying the video. I think for me, just watching that video, it just shows a lot about the fakeness of social media and how everyone tries to do things just because of what we're seeing other people putting out, right? And honestly, for me, I think like social media will always be people trying to put out the best. Not everyone is going to want to put out the mess and, all of the issues that they have in their real life. So it goes for me to think about how we view what we're seeing online, right? Like we shouldn't just take it as the truth, like that influencer that you see with the perfect marriage, clean home all the time, even though they have kids, they always have a meal on the table and everything. We should know that that is not reality. They're just putting on a show, and sometimes it may be for validation because the people just want to get validation for just their life, because they may be going through it in their real life, and they get to have this whole existence online that is different from their reality, right? But going back to the topic of masks, I feel like really we are different things to different people, and how we show up maybe in at work, if you're in corporate and maybe you're a woman of color or an immigrant. For someone like me, I am an immigrant. I'm from Nigeria and I live in Canada. So the way I would show up in the workplace, even how I speak, and probably how I'm speaking right now, isn't how I would speak to someone who is from the same country as I am, right? Like I would let down some of my guards. Like there would be, I have a certain persona that I may put off, but it doesn't, there isn't a big change as to, it's not me being inauthentic, it's just how I'm showing up in the workplace. So it's, it's an interesting topic, but I always feel like we should have our people who are a safe space. Like I have my husband, and when I come home, I can just be, I can just be myself. I can just say what I want to say. And you may have those people at work as well who are just your close, tight buddies, and you can show up. But then you go into a meeting and then you have your boss, your boss lady persona up, right? So it's really an interesting topic, and it really had me thinking, and even talking, I'm just kind of thinking through it as well. But we all just need to know that you may have masks, but always be true to yourself and never forget who you are. Always, the people who are closest to you you should be able to be vulnerable, because one part of having a mask on, I think, is just protecting ourselves from hurt or not wanting to reveal what we're actually going through, right? But we should have those safe spaces, those people that we can be vulnerable with, that we can show our true self. And the most important thing is not telling ourselves a lie, not starting to believe the persona that we're putting out on Instagram, to have the perfect feed, right? Just knowing that you have things to clean up. You have the messes that you need to deal with. Yeah, so not to ramble on too much, but yeah, just wanted to chip into the conversation.
Well, thank you for coming, but I do have a question. So, like we were saying with the social media, as in the video, all the persona that people were putting in front was that everything is good, everything is good. So, I have a question. Honestly, how often do you ever see people putting something truly not so good online? They're putting maybe they got bad news, or um, are lost and they're on their crying. Like, how often do we really see anything other than that perfect persona image that we see on social media?
I think interestingly, there is also a trend to be authentic as well on social media, right? And more and more, I'm beginning to see, especially when you're on TikTok. I don't like to be on TikTok so much, but then you do get into those rabbit holes on TikTok, and there's a whole part of TikTok that is about showing messy and really dirty homes. And then you get to the other part that you're like, oh, right, you have such a messy home. Why? Like, why, right? So it's I know that people are more and more trying to feel like, oh, they want to be authentic and they want to be their true selves. And you do have people who break down and they're vulnerable. And I think some cases, you may look at those people and wonder, what is the end game? Are they crying on camera because they want to get something out of it? They're trying to maybe there's an end game, right? Maybe they're trying to get sympathy. Maybe they're trying to get people to feel pity for them and, maybe send them money or whatever, right? But in the cases where it is genuinely people showing up as themselves, I believe it is in cases where they have built up connection and they have a real community online that they feel they can be vulnerable with. And yes, some people who are not part of the community may stumble on it. And, that's when you get nasty comments. But it's not that common, but I feel like there are two sides to it. Some people are exploiting it to take advantage and maybe just get views and more income from the views that they have on social media. And some people have formed genuine connections with the communities that they have built up online, and they feel like it is safe for them to cry after a breakup or cry after they've lost a loved one, or just, be themselves in front of the camera. So it's just really two parts, two perspectives that I've come to see that from.
Yeah, and you're right. Now that I think about it, I do see a lot more on TikTok. I'm new to TikTok, so now that I think about it, I do see a
Hmm.
lot more on TikTok. I see Ben is on. Let's invite him on to this conversation. All right, Ben, you
Hi,
back?
Uncle Ben. Oh, wow, I'm the only one without my camera on.
Is that
Okay.
my Bilber?
Yes, Uncle Ben, it's me.
Hey
It's,
Biba, how you doing? It's so sweet to
hi.
hear your voice.
Okay. Yeah, let me turn on my camera. I can't be the only one
Now
without a
wow,
camera.
how come I'm the only one with the thick accent? See the way you sound like America. Eh? Is that a mask or what?
It's part of the mask, Uncle Ben.
No, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's an interesting conversation. Basically, I'll be honest, I don't know why people have to try to become who they are not. But like I said earlier, it's okay for people to wear different masks depending on the occasion and where they find themselves. But if they are wearing the mask for a good deed, that's excellent. But if they are wearing the mask in order to deceive other people, now I have my reservation for that. Okay. So, and this time around on social media, we have a lot of fake people. Oh my God. Especially your gender, Missy and Buba, they fake a lot.
You know what? I will only not fight with you because, like I was saying before, a lot of times I don't think I really see my friends on their pictures on social media authentically. It's always Snapchat or filters. I would really like to see the
Mm,
unfiltered pictures of my friends, but I can't
Right?
honestly say I see
Uh,
them.
I'm coming just 1 second.
So,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the
am I right?
filters are crazy. Yeah, I know, because a lot of times people get used to seeing themselves through a filter, and they're not ever gonna want to take just a regular camera photograph, right? The filter has to be on.
And that's what I said about myself. Like, even when I started, doing these podcasts, I was like, wait a minute, I can't do a straight Snapchat. I was like, oh no, okay, well, but I actually am benefiting from it because it's teaching me to be my authentic self. This is who I am.
Yeah.
Take me flaws and all. This is who I am. I don't always have in my intro, I said, I don't always dress to the nines. I'm not always made up with a full face of makeup. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because I want to make some type of difference in people's life.
Mhm.
And you don't have to be caked up and made up to do so. So I decided on this topic because I wanted to show, yes, we do. It is necessary to wear masks at times, but the dangers is if we always and only show up in our mask. That's when it's dangerous because then we start to lose who we are. So just like you said yourself, people get so used to seeing themselves in Snapchat and filters and stuff like that that um, they look in the camera one day and see their authentic selves and they're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, totally. Like, who's that lady?
Yeah, who's that person looking back at me? And
Yeah.
so that's when it's dangerous because then it's even more so if you have children who are looking up to you and following in your footsteps. Because if they're seeing that you always have to have filters and you don't show up as yourself, then they feel like maybe they shouldn't show up as themselves. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think particularly when you're a parent, there are a lot of things that you have to think about how it reflects onto your children and what perception do they have, and that forms how they view or how they behave as well. Because for me, having daughters, one of the things that I always wanted them to do was like to be proud of their hair, right? And just, being in a country where 90% of who they're with in school have straight silky hair, right? And so it's also important for me to also wear out my natural hair so they can see that, not everyone has hair that is blonde or straight or, whatever. And you have to be proud. So when I had my first daughter, for me, it was also a time to just reflect and just think about how I would want her to grow and develop confidence in herself. So it's really important that, especially when with social media and everything, we have to be conscious that we are raising children. They are exposed to the internet so much more than we were when we were younger, right? Because we can remember the time when there was no internet, where we didn't have access
Are
to the
you that
internet
old? I'm not.
24/7. Right,
Sorry.
right. But for them, the technology has always been there. They're growing up in this digital age, right? So we just always need to know that they're seeing so many things, and we also have to um, show an example of how they need to perceive themselves and how they need to be authentic as well. I hope that answers your question.
It does. And, we also have to allow our kids to be authentic too, because
Yeah.
I know sometimes, I know I'm going to say my home, I have found myself, like my daughter wanted to do her major in a certain major. And I was like, no, I want you to do this. I want you to don't wear that mask. I want you to wear this mask. Don't be authentic. And sometimes, that can be very dangerous. We definitely also have to just allow our kids to be authentic self and show them, that it's okay. Uncle Ben, I see you're back. Uh-oh, we're not hearing you.
Sorry, I'm back. I'm doing the sweet dad duty. All right. Any question for me?
So, so we were just talking about kids, and do you allow your kids to be their authentic self, or do you have some expectations of them that you try to, you know, force them to, wear a mask or be someone else? Because, and the reason why I asked this, I gave the example. I don't know if you were on. I was saying like my daughter wanted to do a major, in college, and I felt like that wasn't the direction she should go. I wanted her to go a different direction. And I feel like the dangers of that is if she doesn't follow her passion, if she would try to wear the mask that I put on her, because I would have preferred her to do something in the science field because I'm a chemist. And so I wanted her to come along in my footsteps. But she went all the way on the opposite ends of the spectrum. So it was kind of like I was almost, if I wasn't careful, I would have forced her to maybe wear a mask that didn't fit her. And she would have actually, gone around in life not being her authentic self. So, what are your take? What is your
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So many times I've called you a Nigerian mom. You behave like Nigerians. Nigerian mom, we actually want you to follow the path they created for you. Go be a doctor, go be an engineer, and all of that. But for me, I don't put any mask on my kids. What I do, like I've said often on my show, I'm a consequentialist. So I like to give people options. I like to explain the outcome of every actions, and then I'm gonna allow you to decide what you want to do. So as for my kids, mm-mm, I told them be whoever you want to be. But one thing is this: whatever field you choose, whatever you want to become in the future, just make sure there's going to be good money coming out of that. I don't care what you do. Yeah, but there better be good money. And that is why they all know one thing I preach several times is this: you can be a doctor, you can be an engineer, you can choose to be, you can even be an historian. I don't care. But you have to learn entrepreneurial skills along the way. You
yes?
feel me? And the reason for that is that for me personally, I grew up being an hustler. I've always loved entrepreneurship because, come to think of it, most of the career you have out there, they don't make you a millionaire easily. You only become a millionaire when you kind of diversified your hustles. You
Yes.
know, you can be an engineer, yet you still have an Amazon store. You can be a doctor, yet you still have something you are buying and selling, maybe in the real estate or something. So I always told them the one thing I want you guys to learn is how to buy and sell along the way. So when it comes to masking, I've always told them be your authentic self. Now, I do understand the environment they are growing up, and I also understand that my kids are what we call nepo babies. No thanks to Abby and my real farm sisters. So my kids are what we call nepo babies, never experienced poverty babies. They don't have similar background like myself, so it's like everything just fall on their laps. Like, for instance, all my kids, they started using iPhones, brand new iPhones. I walk to the store, I buy it, I give it to them. Anything they want, they got it. So I know sometimes they really don't understand that there is a different side of this life if you don't have money. So I kept telling them that you're gonna have to make money. Sometimes I will use myself as an example for that. I'll say, hey, you see how I'm working my butt off, working around the clock all the time? I don't want that for you guys. So that is why you have to face your study, make sure you got good grades. But when it comes to who are you, I don't ever want you to try to be someone else. You see what I'm saying? If I understand what you're asking. So when it comes to putting on a mask, trying, no, because to me, when you wear a mask, it's like you are not being your authentic self. So I raise my kids to always believe in themselves. I always tell them that, hey, listen, you are an American, okay? At the same time, you are a Nigerian American, and you are going to school in the midst of all that races and colors. Now, if you begin to look down on yourself, if you are trying to be white, or you're trying to be, oh, I got to be black American, I got to be white, I got to behave like Mexican, you are shortchanging yourself. You got to be proud to say, hey, I'm a Nigerian American. Even though you are born here, you are raised here, everything, you got to be proud that you are a Nigerian American, because that is the mask I would prefer you have on. Because with that, everywhere you step in, you get to realize who you are. So no one can intimidate you. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? For instance, I have a lot of friends that, even right now, many of my friends, they've already done their PhDs. I'm just beginning to think of how I'm going to start mine. I have friends who are doctors, who are engineers. Oh, Missy, here you are. You are one of them too. But guess you what? If I step in an environment filled with doctors, engineers, just name it, dude, I'm just an heavy end. You can't push me back. That is why people call me coconut head. I will step in there. I'm so freaking proud of myself. And what makes it even better, I'm a Nigerian. If you mistakenly put a mic on my hand right there in that hall filled with all these professors and everything, I'm going to start by telling you, hey, my name is Ben and I'm a Nigerian. So that's me telling you that, hey, who you see right here, I'm not trying to be you. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to raising kids and putting masks on their faces, I don't do that, unfortunately. And I see it is paying off right now. I can see the confidence in all my kids. Even my son, 10 years old, I can see how confident he is, because I always tell them, look, people should try to be you, not you trying to be someone else. Because the
That's a
moment
good.
you're trying to be someone else, then you can't be your authentic self. And that means you will always hide behind the mask. You see what I'm saying? So that's just me when it comes to kids.
That's a good one. What you said, that last part was actually very good. I wanted to go to some of these comments. Mika says, "I show up as my authentic self. My authentic self is showing up decent and well dressed. It's part of etiquette for me, but I don't wear a mask to fit in a crowd. I should be. I, maybe it didn't all fit, but that is So good. Yes, I do understand. Showing up authentically, well dressed. Of course, you're not going to show up. Um, how you present yourself is definitely how people are going to view you. And a lot of times, if it's their first impression, that impression may stick
Yeah.
with them. So maybe you were having a not so good day and you showed up not prepared. Most people are going to remember that first impression. So yeah,
Absolutely.
it's very important to show up authentically and to show up yourself. There was another one I saw in here. Yinka's also said that she does take pictures unfiltered, no makeup, and don't use Snapchat. That you're my shiro. I'm gonna start going to look at your pictures because all I see is all these beautiful made up pictures, and I don't
Yeah.
do it a lot anymore. Um, so I want to see more people who can relate to just showing up on camera. The other day I did one of my
Hmm.
lives and I was so exhausted. I did not feel like putting on makeup or anything. I said, you know what? I'm going to show up authentically today. But when I watched that video back, I was like, oh, maybe I should have did a little bit of something because it was a little bit too authentic. Let's see, Yinka said, but masking to cover pain or fake is so not me. If you pay
Yeah.
me for it, I still would fail at it because it will show right in my face. Oh my gosh, I can't fake an emotion. I'm with you on that one. I
Same
cannot
here.
fake.
Yeah.
Even when I try, people read it on me. They're like, "Are you okay?" Because I just wear it. How about you, Ben? Do you wear? I don't. You don't strike me as someone who can't. You strike me as someone who can cover those emotions. Mm-hmm.
Me? Yeah. Oh, sometimes the way we show emotions is a reflection of what we've been through in life. You know. So for me, I'm a very emotional person, but you got to know me deeply for you to know when I'm trying to be strong and when I'm being emotional. You see, for instance, something happened recently in our community, and it really affected me so deeply, honestly speaking, because I'm a kind of guy that I run on trust, and I just can't take it when people betrayed my trust. You see what I'm saying? People have told me several times that, like, it's part of my talent to get people to come together, that kind of thing. So when I bring people together, I trust them, I want them to trust me, and I don't expect betrayal. So when somebody betrayed me in that manner, I will come off as if I'm strong and none of that. But if you really know me, you will know that something is not right. So, like when we were going through all those trauma, some of my sisters in our community, all I would do at times is I'll just drop a message and they will just read through it and they'll be like, I think Sister Yinka and a couple of my sisters actually pin on that. They were like, this is not Ben. Something is not right here. So when it comes to showing emotions, I wouldn't say that I'm not too good at that,
So
but
you hide
it
it.
all depends.
So you. That's when you put on your mask, basically.
Yeah, I put on my mask, but it all depends on what's actually going on. That determines the extent to which I can have that mask on. You feel me? For instance, like I've said several times, I'm a hustler. I'm an entrepreneur, so I lose money every now and then, and all of that. So if something happened, I lost money. Oh, you won't even know that I lost money. It won't affect me. You won't see any emotion or something. But when something affects my kids, my wife, my friends, oh, then you can easily tell something is not right. So I would say when it comes to business, I wear that mask. You won't know something is eating me up. But when it comes to interpersonal relationship, especially with the people I hold dear to my heart, then it's gonna show, you know. For instance, I'm that type of guy, like I'm a ride or die kind of guy. If you are my friend, if I got your back, if you're going through a rabbit hole, don't bother to look back because I'm right there. We're falling together. So, that kind of thing. So, when it comes to humans, I can't wear the mask. But when it comes to other things, nah, you won't know something is going on.
So it's definitely, I think the consistency is there are times that wearing mask is necessary to get through life,
Yeah,
but then there's
yeah.
other times that we need to be our authentic self. I see someone else wants to come up. Yeah,
There's a lot of people there,
all
I
right,
guess. The real fans are here.
let me see if I can add Pappy, Pappy. I'm gonna
Oh, that's Uncle Dio.
uh-oh, it went away. I was adding you, but you were oh, here you go. I got you.
Yeah, that's Uncle Dio. Papi, all the way from
All
Nigeria.
right.
You can see his picture. Don't worry about that. Uncle Dio, what's up?
I'm good, sir. How
I
are you,
think
sir?
Sister Natu is there too. Oh, I'm fine. You welcome, Uncle Dio. How you doing?
Thank, thank you so much, sir. I'm here. Nice to be here.
I'm glad that you joined us.
Hi,
What time is
Missy.
it
Hi,
there?
Biba.
Hello, Uncle
It's
Dio.
2:15 a.m.
Oh,
2:15
wow.
a.m.
I'm
Yeah.
so honored. You came on at 2:15 a.m. Thank you so much.
God, thank God. I'm happy to be here.
Uncle Dio, did you see Bilba? See our fine face,
On,
our fine baby
I've,
face.
I've been looking at her beautiful face since, and she remind me of somebody that I used to
That's
know
our
so well.
Bilba.
She's just so beautiful. Nice to
Oh,
see your
thank
face like
you,
this.
Uncle Dio.
And
Thank
she's
you.
being
Thank
authentic. She looks authentic.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's my baby girl Bilba. I used to think Biba is like, that kind of young, little girl. Until I get to speak with her, I'm like, Jesus. Oh, this lady tricked
Uncle
me. She tricked
Ben,
me.
I'm young. I'm young. Ah.
No, no, you are not like young like my baby Abio. All right, Missy, over to you,
Okay.
Mama.
So, what can you add to the conversation? What are your thoughts on mask and showing up authentically, or is it necessary to mask yourself?
Now, basically, I will say this: everybody has a mask. You only bring it out whenever you want to. Nobody is immune, or nobody can say, "Oh, I don't put any mask on." You only put on the mask that you want people to see. It now depends on your definition of a mask. What's a mask? A mask is a facade, or maybe an image, or maybe a face that you put up, depending on the circumstances that you are facing. Like what Uncle Ben just said now. He said when he's passing through some things, he's not the kind of person that normally like to show it, but somehow in his character, in his behavior, people that knows him, they will get to pick it and see, something is wrong with this guy. So everybody has this kind of mask that you put up depending on the circumstances. Now, having said that, one should be able to understand that your outward appearance sometimes may not be what you are feeling inside. Some people use a lot of what I call diversions to mask their real their real self. For instance, I've known of people that are naturally shy. Instead of them to wear that containers, they would rather put up a strong face, a bold face. That when you see them, you see that this guy is arrogant, or this lady is just too blunt, or she's looking so mean. They're just putting on a face to cover their real self. So everybody do that once in a while, just to cover. In fact, to some people, um, anger is a mask. Have you ever cornered somebody and doing something wrong, and you are like, "Why are you doing this?" And next thing, the person, instead of the person to like humbly accept what you said, he or she will just put on an angry approach. It's a mask. just to cover for the fact that he or she is vulnerable at that point in time. So that's why I said nobody is actually free from it. It depends on your circumstances and your views, and then what you're passing through at that point in time. I've seen people that when they're passing through traumas, they will put up a very, very happy face. But that happy face is so shallow, it's not deep. They're just covering up because they don't want people to be asking them, what is wrong with you? Why are you feeling down? Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? So it is all like, everybody there is a there is a game that we normally play in Lagos here when we were young. We used to paint uh, all this cardboard. We will call it masquerade. We paint it in different multiple colors and then we use it to cover our face. Something like they're doing now when they're doing all this Max Paris and all. As kids, we normally play that play in Lagos. So when you cover your face, you don't know who is behind the mask until you remove it. That that is typically the story of Earth on Earth. So we all put up different masks for different occasions. That's what I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you for adding that. And I would have to agree, definitely, um, depending on the setting, basically. And so, as I approached, the mass conversation, I'm glad to hear that there is a consensus that sometimes it is certainly necessary to wear a mask. But I want to ask you all a question, especially the men on that are on right now. We're going to welcome Nat to the in just a second, but I'm gonna ask a question to the gentlemen that are on right now. So, if if y'all were single and interested in a young lady, and she came to you, and like I was saying at first, she was inviting you over, and she had some delicious meals ready every time you come, and then all of a sudden, you decide you want to go further with this person, and you move toward the marriage, and then you find out once in the marriage, hey, this person can't even cook. That whole time they were bringing takeout. So, so that means they put a mask that was almost kind of deceitful. So, Ben, what do you say about that, Uncle Ben?
I won't call that
Okay.
masking, to be honest. That is manipulation. That is lying.
That's a man. It's fake. Yes.
Yeah. No, when we call that masking, it's like we are pampering her. No, that is manipulation. And for somebody like me who like food, you manipulated me into marrying you, and now you can't
A
cook.
traditional
Oh
man
my
like
God.
you.
Oh, Sister Natu, I'm kicking her out to divorce is coming straight off. Unless she learn how to cook and very fast at it. No, 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 no. That's not masking. No. That is manipulation. In fact, she's supposed to be sued for tricking me. And she tricked me with the most important thing that I'm looking for in a woman. Food. Missy, don't find my trouble, Missy.
But what if that was the only, so to speak, I call it a mask. What if that was the only mask that she put on so that she can get in the door? So,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Like I
everything
said,
else
if she's
about her was authentic. Everything else was wonderful about her, but that was the only mask that she put before you. You would still kick her out. She would. It would be time to get her to go, or
now to be frank though, before I get to kick her out, because first off, I would have known if she can't cook. I wouldn't fall for that. I think, yeah, we had this conversation, I think 2 days ago, and Abby was there. Some of my other sisters were there, and somehow our conversation always circle back to food. Somehow, now, for somebody like me, I will figure out if she can cook before we get married. Now, if she somehow tricked me into marrying her and she's good in every other aspect, the only thing is she can't cook, then she just have to learn. I wouldn't mind paying for the training. Now, if she insisted, oh, she was gonna do Gen Z madness, I don't have to learn. We can just hire a chef. We can get somebody to cook. Well, I'm out of the door, and I'm being honest. It ain't gonna work. I'm not ready to marry a wife that can't cook for me. I'm sorry. That's why I'm a traditional man. I got to see my wife in the kitchen cooking. You can't do that. The marriage can work. I'm sorry.
So no matter
I,
if everything else was authentic and you fell in love with everything else, if you mistaken if you put that mask on to show that you could cook and couldn't, that's a deal breaker.
yeah, it's a deal breaker. Okay, let me ask you,
Okay.
Missy. Can you marry a poor man who don't want to work, who just want to sit his butt on the couch? He's a great guy, perfect
That's
guy.
not the same.
He's
That's not
sexy,
the same with masking, Uncle. Better stop.
You
back, everything is just what you wanted, but dude is so lazy. He's lazy as can't get a job. Would you marry him?
well, if he put on a mask that he already had a job and that he had money, and then when we got married, he removed that mask, that that would probably be a deal breaker. But he would have had to step forward with showing me, something different. Because of course, no one's going to go after a man that they already know, or I should say, a partner that they already know doesn't have a job, is lazy. But a lot of times that's the mask that people put on. Just like I was saying, people
Yeah,
show that they have, money, they have it together, and then as you build that relationship with them, they take those masks off. You start to see those masks coming off, because you cannot live with masks on 365 days a year. Eventually they're going to start, even if you don't take them off, they're going to start falling off anyway, because the
yeah,
real them is going to, you can only hide your real self for so long. So um
yeah. And
yes,
that and that's why with the food example you gave, it's a deal breaker for me. I'm out. Mm. I got to make sure you can cook a goosey, you can cook bitter leaf, you can cook vegetable, you can cook fried rice, jollof rice, white rice, stew. Oh, you got to cook everything. Or else I'm done.
I hear you. I hear you. But that's just some of the things. That's why I said, how are people showing up in the world? Sometimes they're definitely showing up, not themselves, and that is the whole conversation here. How often or how not often should we wear masks? When are situations that, yes, we definitely have to put on our mask? When are situations that you absolutely should not put on your mask? And I can see for you, Ben, a time you shouldn't put on your mask is when you trying to show you someone's trying to show you they can cook or not, because that could be a deal
So,
breaker.
so do you know the saying that says that you don't have to look like what you've been through?
Yes, I do.
So
Hmm.
those are some of the situations that you have to like max and max and those kind of situations does not mean that you're trying to like be fake, but it's just you trying to like not let your situation weigh you down. You understand what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean that you're not showing up authentic, but you're just living in your reality, but you're making the best use of a moment. I'm gonna give you a situation that I had, and I think I shared a couple of times. There was a time that I had a Facebook Live and I talked about it. So I'm a TTC, 8 years now. I'm going to be 9 years in marriage in December, and I have gone through four failed IVFs. And I think what people have not been able to understand is that I'm a Christian. I go to church. I'm a Bible believing Christian. I go to Redeem, and it's hard for you when you call yourself a child of God. You believe in God. You're a church worker, and then you go through this that you're hoping God to be able to see you through, and it didn't work out. So me now having that fail and not wallowing in my pain, but picking myself up and saying, you know what? And then somebody seeing me the next day, not knowing I went through IVF the previous day, and is making a children's joke at me. And you know what I'm saying? So because I didn't put up that facade that this is what I'm going through, does not mean I'm not going through that. So you have to have situations because I could just sit down like, you know what? I'm so mad at God. I'm not going to church for the next 1 year. and I'm upset. But I said, you know what? No, this is life. When the gets tough, you keep on going, you don't quit. And like African people will say, person will die and I ain't lose. You understand? And what it means is that as a person that gives up, that loses. So when you keep pushing, so there are times that you have to keep pushing. There are some people that you're gonna see them pushing so hard, and when they start telling you their stories, you'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you've been through that." You understand what I'm saying? Like when Cece had to share her story on ITB show today, like you will never have an idea that somebody like that had been through that if they don't share. So those kind of situations are necessary because sometimes some people have to be able to heal, to come up as their authentic self, to be able to discuss those situations with you from a healed perspective. Because if they are not healed, if that day that that person made a joke at me and I decide to respond to that person that day, probably will have a fight because she's an older person. I probably will have cursed her out because I'm just coming out of something that did not work, that something was gonna work, and then the lady saw me. And so when you have IVF, because of the injections and everything, sometimes it makes you bloated. And the lady saw me the next day. She was like, "Oh, did you have a miscarriage?" People don't know how to talk. So if
Yeah.
I wanted to be my authentic self, my unfiltered self, I would have cursed her out. But that situation does not require that. And I just had to just smile and just pass. So there are situations that you have to. That means that does not mean that you're being fake, but you're just not looking like what you've been through. You understand what I'm saying? Coming over as your authentic self, the times that require you is when you try to leave. Let's say I earn $1,000 a month and I try to live within my means. That's me showing up as my authentic self.
Hmm.
But if I earn $1,000 a month, I have $1,000 a week. My car note is 1,500. I have insurance. My rent is like $2,000. That's not me showing up as my authentic self. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
me living within my means. And then me not showing up my authentic self. Let's say I'm a single lady and I want to date a guy, but I want to date a high earning guy, and I'm not a high earning lady. So you're not a high earning lady, woman. What do you bring to the table? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you're not being realistic to yourself. So showing up authentic is being realistic to yourself. That's all I have to say. But let me say hi to my sister. Hi, Biba. Hi, Papi. Hi, Uncle Ben. I'm
Hi,
gonna call Uncle
Sister
Ben, but I wasn't sure
Natu.
he will go. How are you?
I'm
And
good.
me not coming on camera is not me not being on my authentic self. I'm already in my pajamas, okay?
That's
So,
authentic. Because most of us would be in our pajamas probably by now. That's
I
all.
was I was struggling to sleep. I was like, oh, I didn't know you were live. I'm like, okay, let me go bother you a little bit. But how
Oh,
have you been?
thank.
That's what I wanted to say.
So, just as we talk about, putting on a mask, I mean, most of my real fam knows that I'm sitting here. I have this smile on my face, but, I definitely have some, I've had to put on somewhat of a mask today.
You're not looking, yeah, you're not looking like what you've been through.
Exactly. So, and that's the whole point. We are trying to figure out, like, yes, sometimes you have to, sometimes it's very necessary to put on a
Yeah,
mask
yeah.
and get through the day, and
Mhm.
that's what I do. And
You know something. Sorry to interject. Something I have to say too. There are times that you don't need to. You have to look like what you're going through when you're within your tribe, when you know you're within the circle where you get support. So it's just like, let's say, a woman that is going through a marriage breakdown or a divorce or a relationship breakdown, and she's talking to the person she's dating. She's not saying anything or crying or showing her face. And then when she gets to her tribe, she takes out her wig and start wailing, and they let you wail, and they let you do everything. When you're done, they're like, "You got this. You're gonna be fine." I think one of the days I called you and I left you a voice note too. I don't know if you saw the voice. Did you get my voice note?
I believe
I
so.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did call. I left you a voice note. So sometimes, like when you're within your tribe, you get it like because that's your support system. So you can. There's a song that Beyonce sang, and they said, "Girl, I forgot. It's all about like girl support, telling the other one how they need each other, and they can always talk to each other. So there are situations where you need your tribe. No man is an island, honestly speaking. And there are times that when you need a tribe, you don't need anything more than like moral support, emotional support, spiritual support. You see people raising prayer altars on your behalf. People that are not spiritual quality just talk to you and encourage you because everybody has a gift. Some people have the gift of prayer. Some people have the gift of talking. Some people are good comforters. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're within your tribe, I don't think you don't have to max because this is my tribe. When they say, "How are you doing?" You say, "I am stressed. I am tired. I feel like I'm draining." That's where you get vulnerable. And that vulnerability not everybody is privileged to that. It has to be people that you know can cover you in prayer, people that can cover you emotionally, people that can cover you mentally. So that's just what I have to say.
Yes. I'm feeling everything that you're saying, and I'm feeling it. So, I was so deep into the conversation, I actually lost my train of thought. But um, at the end of all
My
this,
bad.
oh no, no, that's okay. No, that it's all good stuff because so you can say that when you're wearing your mask, you're trying to present. Okay, so you're presenting yourself well, but you can definitely remove your mask and be more vulnerable when you're around um, the
Your
people,
tribe,
the
your
tribe.
circle.
Yes. I definitely understand. Yinka said that sister Natu, I understand what you mean. You can't show that level of vulnerability to the world, but one's tribe. And it is definitely vulnerable when you take off that mask. So that is very true. So thank
Cause,
Missy,
Uncle Ben, sorry a second. Cause if this was a real time call, if it wasn't like a live, I would have turned on my light and have my face, no makeup. I had a chemical born last year, so my face is a little bit darker. But I don't have a problem doing that if I'm within my real time. You understand what I'm saying? If it's not a live session. So that's what you could say. Uncle Ben.
yeah, thank you, Sister. Now, I just wanted to shout out to one of my baby girl in the chat, Missy Ajine. Missy, how you doing? Messi is joining us all the way from
Oh my
Nigeria.
God, we have plenty
So thank.
Nigerians. They are not sleeping. Uncle Ben, you have to send them the Pedro.
Oh, they need Don Pedro. Serious one. Missy, we pay for this Don Pedro.
I got you. I got you. Yika's
Yeah,
also said, and one can't call that a bad mask, but a necessary mask. Yes,
That's
absolutely.
correct.
That's absolutely.
yeah. Shout out to Sister Yinku. Yinku
But
Stepe.
in general, even the mask that we put on, maybe someone might interpret it as a bad mask, like the one I was talking to Ben about, like putting on that mask that I can cook, but I really can't. But maybe that's how you are able to get into the door. So is it necessary to put on the mask to get into the door into certain situations, not just in the relationship you're
Like
in,
you
but
mean you mean like how we pad our resume and say we know how to do some stuff, and then when you ask to start doing it, and you be
exactly,
like, "What's going on here?"
exactly.
Missy, please don't apply this to marriages, please.
But it could be
Please.
that could be the one thing that the person does not know how to do, but everything else they know how to do it.
No, no, Missy, I think for that, like Uncle Ben said, I don't know if it's masking, but it's a bad masking, and let me tell you why. Um, I
Exactly.
I feel like people that want to take you for who you are will take you for who you are. We're not all perfect people. Somebody might not be able to know how to clean, to cook, but she might be like a housekeeper. Like she knows how to keep the house clean, do this and that. And the person will be like, you know what? That I know a lady that is an OAP in America on Steve Harvey's show. She does not know how to cook, and she never hides it. So her husband knows that his wife does not know how to cook. So the day that he's not available to cook, she knows that they're eating out. He knows they're eating out, and they have the money to do that. But if you know that that's not something that you can tolerate, You have to let the other person know so that it doesn't become a problem. Because sometimes some people,
Yeah.
like, if your partner knows, your partner will be the one to defend you. Let's say you go to your in-laws house and they say, "Oh, Missy, we need you to make this for us." He's gonna be like, "Oh no, she's allergic to this. She can't make this if she stands there." So he's defending you now. He's the only person that knows that you don't know how to cook, but the others don't know and they don't need to know. But if you don't, and you just said okay, and you go to the kitchen and mess up everything, he's gonna be like, "So you just brought me here," and especially if it's an African man, you're gonna be in trouble. He'll be like, "You are bringing me here to disgrace me. How can you not know how to cook this small thing?"
Sister Natu, Sister Natu just sound like African uncle.
Yeah, you say this is a disgrace to me. How can my wife not know? And the other Africans believe that every girl should know how to cook. No, I'm sorry, no,
You should.
Well,
no,
Yinka
excuse
said you
me.
better ensure you learn before they catch you, is what Yinka said.
Yeah, that's true. It is the Boko Ben. Let me tell you something. It's a survival skill, right? And let me tell you, my mom had four girls. All of us have been taught, we were taught how to cook. All of us cook very well. But all of us has one, everybody has something they cook better than the other person. Oh,
Yeah.
my twin sister is a chef. She makes intercontinental dishes. But my twin sister cannot make suya better than me. She cannot make our local food, they call it pate. It's made from corn. She can't make it better than me. What can she make? Zobo and ginger, she cannot make it better than me. But any other thing, I give it up to her. So people have specialties. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I just have to say that sometimes in situations like that, we have to learn to offer people grace
Yeah.
because there's
I agree. I agree. I agree, Sister Natu. But ah,
oh
it's
Lord,
my own
oh
debate.
Lord, oh Lord. Oh,
No, no. You see the
it's
reason
not a
why
bad.
it's
No, no,
kind
no. I'm
of,
not saying it's a bad deal breaker. By the way, I'm just teasing you because you
yeah.
have food. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is different for everyone. When we're talking about masking in marriage, I think there are some things
It's
you
not safe.
shouldn't know
It's really not
if
safe.
you are coming.
It's
Uncle Ben,
yeah.
Just like Sister Yinka said in the comment, I think I saw it somewhere. Sister Yinka said, "I don't know how to
Poppy was
cook."
trying to say something.
Okay, yeah, I saw it. She said, I knew how to cook basic things before marriage. I learned how to really cook in marriage." Okay. And Chucky, hey, shout out to my brother Chucky in the building. So Chucky said, "Don't know how to cook, your beauty don't mean nothing to
Oh
me."
shit.
So see, it's a big deal. For me personally, why this cooking thing is such a big deal for me is that I'm the type, like, if I love you, I really don't care. I'm gonna be there all through in everything. But there are certain things I expect from you. If you can't meet that standard, then we got no business being together. For me, food is priority because I don't like eating out. I don't like eating out. I can cook basic stuff, but I still appreciate good African meals. Okay. Now, if you can't cook, and I'm not the type that I'm gonna bother you, worry you on so many other things. All I just care about is my food should be okay, and you can cook. Then what am I getting from the marriage, Sister Natu? Do you understand my condition, my situation? What am I getting?
How did we get
Eh?
here?
You're getting other stuffs.
Uncle Ben,
Like
Uncle
what?
Ben, please calm down.
Yes, sir.
Calm down. See, there are two things
I know
here.
they calm down. Sister Natu, don't they pinch
Wait,
me?
wait. There are two things here. Number one, I want to say this, okay? Because we seem to be like mixing something up. Oh. Mask and deception. For somebody, for somebody that did not tell you while in courtship that she could not cook, and she was like masking it up or whatever. To me, that is deception. It's deceiving you because I believe in courtship, all masks should be off. All masks should be off,
Absolutely.
so that both of you will start your relationship on a solid ground. if you have to deceive me during courtship, and then after marriage, I found out that you have lied to, or you have like deceived me, I will not masking. You are not masking. You can only mask your feelings, mask your, I mean, mask, mask some things as a kind of a self-defense mechanism. I can understand that. But for you to go into deceit, to me, not being able to cook and you are deceiving me in courtship, and I find out after marriage you cannot cook. That is deceit. You have successfully deceived a local coconut head man like me into marrying you because you cannot cook. No, honestly, no friend,
But but
not for
but wouldn't you
because
say deception and mask is kind of the same thing? Because if you think about it, when I wanted to look up and see what the definition of mask is, and it says worn as a disguise or
nah,
to what we're gonna say. So
yes,
it's
I'm
kind of
hearing
the
you.
same
But
thing, right?
disguise and deception are not the same thing. I can disguise, but if I deceive you, it will be much more painful than okay. What is disguise? Let me try to like break it down. I can disguise as if I don't know how to dance. Maybe you take me to the party.
Mhm.
I say I know how to dance, but don't know how to dance. Then when I begin to now dance, I'm like, so you know how to dance? Say, oh, yes, yes, I'll just disguise it. That one is okay. But when I deceive you, now I have a friend. Okay, I used to have a friend. We were in the same church, and then he got a lady in my church to marry. Now, one of the things that the brother has been saying to the to everybody's hearing is that he can never marry a single mother. That he can never marry a single mother. So everybody, even before he met the lady, all of us that are close to him, we know where he stands at that level. Not knowing that this lady that he met in the church, she's a single mother. After marriage, the marriage was okay, everybody was okay. She never told the guy that she had a child somewhere else before. Meanwhile, the child that she had, she left it with the mother in the village. And they all know it. He didn't tell this guy until after about a year of marriage. When the guy finally found out, the guy said he's going to leave that marriage. Unfortunately, it was so serious, but we have to prevail upon the guy that already you people have already, and then by that time she was already pregnant for this guy. Go. But to me, that is deceit. That is not masking. So we must understand the difference between putting on a fake appearance or putting up a disguise compared to deceiving somebody outrightly. So I
Hmm.
believe masking is disguising, deceit is completely deception.
Ha- Anyone else have an opinion on that? To me, it almost kind of seems, in my the way my head is working, it almost kind of seems the same. But anyone else have an opinion on that? Sister Natu or Uncle Ben? Let me see. Yinkas.
One more thing that
Sorry,
I
I
would
was
like
trying to
to
get myself a late night. Okay, bro,
okay,
Papi,
fine.
go ahead.
Okay. One that I'm trying to also say that I don't know, maybe it is this version of your stream. It seems to be logging me out. Sometimes I'll not hear anything going on in the studio, and the screen freezes, or maybe it's my network. I don't know, but it has happened to me about
It's
three, four
probably
times.
your network, but I think I've been fine since I came in. So I
Okay,
think it has to
because
be your network, Papi.
anyway, Nigeria network they are always sick anyway, so
I know.
that's the reason.
I think I kind of agree with Papi. Like deceit is you're trying to hide something with an intention. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the intention, like it's not a good intention. You know there are good and bad intention, but masking. I'm just trying to look for a balance. So I just want to say deceit is the bad masking, while like the regular masking is a good masking. You understand what I'm saying? So like the good masking is you just don't want to go out and just be acting like oh, I have, hold on a second. Okay, I'm going through this in my life. Everything is not working. I've been trying to get pregnant. It's not working, blah, 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 blah. So when you mask that is a good masking because you're trying to not let your situation weigh you down. But the bad masking is you are deceiving. Is it deceit? Like deceit is extreme part of masking. It's like extreme. You understand? Let's go. You go to a party and mask because it's a masking party and they don't want to know who is who. It's just people having fun. And then going to steal a mask. Like you're trying to conceal your identity because you're trying to do something bad. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. It definitely does. Um, Look at Chuck says, let me say this, social media is a mask. Many out there are not who they are in reality. And see, when I read that, I think of, yes, definitely social media, like 9 times out of 10 is a mask, and people are being deceptive about what their lives are really like, and they're deceiving. They're deceiving you. They may, you know, maybe they're taking pictures in front of somebody's G wagon and posting it online as if it's theirs. That's being deceitful, right?
Yes, yes. Oh, social media is not a real life. I've been seeing stories of where people say they meet people on social media and when they meet them in real life, they be like, is this the person that I saw in the picture? Because the people are trying to all the filter exactly all the filters that they have on these apps, they're all bad masking. Like, why do I have to filter my face? You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes. We call that catfishing. And it happened,
There you
but
go.
really and truly, I actually think we all, in some way or another, may do some catfishing or masking on social media. I just in today's world, you just do not know what to believe on social media, and then especially now that we have AI.
Please
I
don't bring AI. It gives me night. It makes me cringe. The stuff that AI come up with. Oh, Jesus.
So but you know what? AI is making it easier to wear a mask. You can really
Yes.
wear a mask. And I'm going to give an example. Me, now that Chat GPT is available, when I write emails to my boss, or someone in upper management, or at the district, I'm rewriting it with Chat GPT. I'm gonna write my version.
Almost everybody does that. I work in investigations and I was told that I started a new job and they were like, oh, there's this app. You're not allowed to use all those AI tools, but there's a particular one if you just want to check your English and construction and blah, blah. I'm like, what? But yes, almost everyone now, even people that say, I don't want to use AI, at some point
So
you find yourself using it.
and but is that masking, and then, as you guys were saying, a good mask, or is that a deceptive mask that that's
Papi,
supposed.
over to you. This is going to be for Papi and Uncle Ben.
No, no,
Uncle Ben?
it's actually easy. When you're talking about AI and ChatGPT, that is not masking. Those are um, enhancement tools, enhancements that you use to improve upon yourself or to improve upon an object or a matter or anything that you want them to really work upon. To me, I see it as a kind of a enhanced tools to use. That's number one. Now, as you said, AI deceive because it can actually clone anything. It can actually um, make a false narrative about anything. It can clone you and make you to do something that you have never done before. That is AI. It can be positive and it can be negative. So I will not see that one as a mask. I would rather see it as a tool that can be used for good and for evil. That's AI. But as for ChatGPT, I see it as an enhancement tool that can help you to improve on whatever you are doing. Now, back to the when we are talking about masking, and we have not even talked about the core issue. What I wanted to even that why do people put on a mask in the first place? Why? Number one, is it for the fun
So
of it? Are they trying to cover up something, or are they trying to deceive? The motive determine where you are. You can be excused if you are trying to cover up something. You can be excused if you are just doing it for the fun of it. But if you are going to do it to deceive somebody, then you, you have crossed over to deception. So that's why I say we need to understand all the dynamics of masking before we can now say, okay, this one is extreme masking, this one is not extreme masking. It is the motive that really determines this. What are the motives behind your masking? Why are you masking? What are you trying to prevent? What are you trying to like project? All those things matters. Thank you.
yes, absolutely. So I think at the end of the day, we can agree that um, masking can be good and it can be bad. There could be some deception in masking, but also around in the case where you're not around your tribe, it might be necessary to wear a mask to present yourself in certain situations. And even, how about, is there ever a reason to truly, well, I guess there is, to wear masks as it relates to social media? Or should people show more of their authentic self? That is the question that I have. And somebody made me realize that people show more of their authentic selves on TikTok, or the true selves, which is great. But that I hadn't seen much of that. That's something I'm seeing now. But social media was a big, to me, as I think Chucky said in the chat, a big mask, because you never saw anything. You see everyone in their perfect look, their perfect hair, the perfect filters. So it was just a big mask, and I personally feel like a big mask of deception. So, uh oh, what is going on? Okay, so um, that's what I that's how I viewed social media. But at the end of the day, we can agree that sometimes it's definitely necessary to mask, and at other times, you should just show up as your authentic self. Is that the conclusion that you came up with?
I agree with you. I agree with you completely on that. I agree with you.
All right. Well, we have been going
And
for
I think also, sorry, real quick, right? I think also the social media sometimes people put this kind of like unhealthy competition on themselves. Just
Mhm.
because this person is looking and having a perfect body, I have to show up in the perfect body too. But we just have to remember that not everybody has a glass hour shape. Understand what I'm saying?
And people
So
will
I think
literally make themselves sick or close
yes,
to death trying to get there, and that is when masking is definitely dangerous. It even becomes
yeah,
dangerous because a lot of times what you see on social media isn't even real, and then you take yourself out there to try to achieve what you're seeing on social media, something that's not even real in the first place. And so then it becomes more dangerous. I've known
yeah,
people who, like you were talking about the hourglass shape. I know someone who went and had their body done, and they almost died. Literally, they almost died trying to
yep,
mimic what they see on social media. So
yeah,
definitely the dangers of allowing even social media to show just perfect images across the board. And then our, like someone said in the chat, our Gen Z and our younger generations are seeing this, and they want to mimic it. They want to mimic perfection when we were never created to be perfect. We're
that's
not
right.
as perfection. So yeah, so that's when you know, that masking, that showing your fake self on social media, that's when it's dangerous and very deceitful as well. So,
I have a
yeah,
question.
I will.
I have a question, please.
go ahead.
Please, just a quick one.
Uh-huh.
Between the male gender and the female gender, who put on the marks most?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that one is obvious. Papi, stop
No,
it.
let's have some
if
Bible.
we
Let's have some Bible, please. Who put on the marks most?
if we
In
start
what
that,
situation?
we're gonna be here
What's
another
circum
hour.
in what
Between
circumstances?
no, between the male and the female, generally, who put on the mask most?
I think men put in the maximums.
No.
And let me tell you, when I say no. That's why I said in what circumstances. Like men are not good in showing emotions like women do. Sometimes men might be going through stuff and they're not talking about it because they have to be a man. Because a man is not allowed to cry, a man is not allowed to be vulnerable. You know all those stuffs. So that's why I
Okay.
say men do the most. But when it
I
comes
agree with you on
to
that. On emotion level, I agree with you on that.
yeah, so
But
but when
me,
it
I have
comes to
I have
physical,
different level. Why women are
when it
much
comes
more
to physical, I think
mhm,
women max more because I
okay.
think a lot of women, one of their goal is to attract a man or be fit for their man or look good for their man. They don't think about looking good for themselves. So they try to max. Oh, I have to look perfect. My face has to look smooth. My skin has to look this. My shape has to be hourglass. My stomach has to be flat. Let me tell you, for the last 2 years, I've stopped trying to make my stomach flat. And it's not like I'm like I have flesh. I'm not too skinny and I'm not too fleshy, but I'm tall. And when you have like a little bulging stomach and you're not pregnant, it's not cute. But I said, you know what it is, and there's nothing I can do about it because I've tried everything's not working. I'm like, I'm just gonna be me. So women, we try to like mostly like, okay, I need to look good. Oh, look at this lady I saw on Instagram. Look at her stomach. I need to go to the gym to look this perfect. Women go to the gym for different purposes than men go to. I'm telling you, we have very few women that go to the gym because they want to keep fit. They go to the gym because of their shape. They want to keep their shape in check. But the men are going to the gym because they want to keep fit. They're trying to stay fit. So it depends on the circumstance.
I agree
Okay.
with you, Stana too. I agree with you, but generally, I still believe that the women put on more mask, as you said. That's why I said I agree with you. What I'm trying to bring out here is this: when when you are doing something just because you want to get something in return, and you know that your natural capability cannot get you that thing, so you now go into masking to get what you want. To me, it is not right. We have to put that one out there. Women are so much conscious of their, I mean, of themselves that, you know, I'm not saying that you should not look beautiful, but because there is nothing that you give to the woman, she will not only multiply it, she will increase it, and she will even double it and double it over. God gave women beauty, and women still go ahead to apply their own beauty on top of it. Gave women grace, and they still went ahead to add to that grace. Somebody that God made to have beautiful bomb, they still go and add to it. So to me, all this thing is masking. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cause bad both here, but they are all masking. That's why I say women mask more than men. Some ladies, if rain should fall and their makeups are washed off, you will run from them. But it's a
Yeah.
it's a complete
It-
I'm sorry,
I
please.
cannot, I can, and that I cannot say that that is not true. And the problem, a big problem is like what Yinka said in the chat: unhealthy competition, competing against manipulated images, and that's why a lot of women are doing that because they're comparing themselves against those, basically those mass images, which are, not, they're not real. Um, like I said, most of my friends, the people I know, manipulate their pictures on Facebook. They have the slimmest stomach on computer, and when you see them in person, they look like they're bloated. Maybe they're bloated that day, but yes, it's definitely unhealthy, and that's why, that's why sometimes I lean closer to, we really need to show more of our authentic selves so that our generations coming up behind us will follow in that footstep and not try to kill themselves trying to look like something that's not even real. And that's what they're seeing on TV and what they're seeing in social media. So, as far as who mask themselves more, women or men, I would like to pose that question to Uncle Ben. You can hear you.
So you say you like to ask who mask more, men or women?
That was the question Papi asked.
Of course, you know the answer.
I don't know the answer.
Women. Your gender.
Is it across the board or in certain areas? Across the board, women
Hmm.
mask themselves, or in certain areas of.
Always, always. And
Hmm.
I can say maybe when they get to certain age, they stop masking. Maybe when they are approaching maybe 60 upward. Below that, oh, your gender mask more than men. Your hmm
All right.
yeah.
Peppy, I see you came back. You wanted to add to it,
Who? Me?
Peppy? I see he came
Oh,
back. So I'm like, okay.
yeah. It could be the network.
Okay.
Allow me to shout out to Uncle Emeka. I saw him earlier on. Yeah, Uncle Emeka, how you doing, sir? Thanks
You
for
gotta say AKA Zaddy. Gotta put
Zaddy.
that in.
Yes, aka Zaddy.
Okay.
So, Missy, your gender they mask a lot, and I don't blame them. They got to look good, and sometimes they got to pretend. And I think my sisters, they've said that one time they told me that women are in competition with other women, and I agree. So I think that's part of where the masking
Yes,
is coming from. Okay.
100%.
It is true.
100%.
I would have
100%.
to agree that is very true. And the sad thing about it is, sometimes we're so blinded that we don't even realize like what we're competing, putting ourselves in competition against is not even real. So, we all have wore
Uh,
wigs, weaves, body shapers, all
yeah.
that stuff. It,
Missy, Uncle Emeka need he need the link.
oh,
Can you
okay,
share the link?
sure.
Yeah. So women mask, I don't blame them for masking. And I think Uncle Dio spoke about if rainfall and the makeup, we're gonna see a different person. Well, me at this point, I'm not even blaming women for masking. So far, if they don't do that with their character and their attitude, if it's just about themselves, their body, and if it doesn't involve too much extras, when I say extras, I mean like BBL and that kind of thing. It's okay. We want women to be beautiful. So it's okay to mask yourself to be beautiful. But when it comes to relationship, dating, and the like, stop using what is that crazy app they use now? Is it Snapchat or something? They use a
Snapchat.
lot of filter and it's crazy, it's wide. There is a Nigerian lady that is trendy right now. Hey, Zaddy in the building.
Indeed.
Hey, welcome,
Zaddy in the
Zaddy. Welcome, Uncle
building.
Mecca. How are you?
Yeah, hello, good evening. Good evening, Missy.
Good
I'm
evening.
so sorry I'm joining late. Actually, what happened is I subscribed to your channel, but I forgot to do the subscribe, the notification.
Okay.
So by the time I realized you already finished. So actually, I found out from the Real Farm WhatsApp group that you are on. So I
Wonderful.
said, okay, let me join. And then also, I didn't really want to say much until what really caught my interest that I wanted to talk was about men cooking or whether they cook or they don't cook.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
I'm the type of person that I've been cooking all my life, and even when I was married, I was the cook in the house for many, many years, so it's not most men can cook, some don't cook, that was what caught my interest. I said, okay, let me chime in. And I've been listening from behind the scene, but you are doing a very good job. And I would like to say hi. Everybody here is also at Uncle Beno's channel. Bro Ben, Sister Natu, Papi, and you guys are doing very well. Thank you so much for letting me in.
You're
Yes.
welcome, Uncle.
Thank you. Thank you for coming
Welcome,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our own Zaddy.
I
So,
think
as I was
please,
saying, Missy.
Uncle Ben, continue.
Oh, you say what, sir?
Yes, sir.
No, I wanted to ask Uncle Meka something, but I would like you to finish first.
Oh, okay. So no, I was just saying that there is this lady in Nigeria that was trending all through last week. I think Very Dark Man even dragged her. She
Nkechi
used a lot
Blessing.
of filters.
Nkechi
Yeah,
Blessing.
Nkechi Blessing or something. She used a lot of filter. Honestly speaking, I never knew she was that big. I'm sorry. I
Wow.
used to think like maybe she's mid-size or something because of the filter and all these pictures, images with magic app or Photoshop or a lot of that.
You are
But
talking about Nkechi Blessing.
yes, sir. So unfortunately for her, somebody took her picture while she was at the gym, and that picture was trending. It looks really, really bad. You know how you're gonna be at the gym and when you were exhausted, you just want to take a break or something. That's when the person took the shot. It looks really bad. So, as I was saying, when it comes to masking and all of that, people shouldn't do that when it comes to relationship. You got to come with your authentic self. I don't want to go to bed with a beautiful princess and wake up in the morning to look back and be like, oh, blood of Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
That's what I want to say. Thank you.
And that is true. I was just saying when I first started, when I did used to wear wigs and things like that, when I was just getting into a relationship, I would sleep in my wigs and I would sleep in my makeup just so that when I woke up in the morning, I would look the same. so, so I didn't want to be ripping my wig off. So I thank goodness I don't have to do that anymore. All of this is authentic. I'm authentic now. Everything is
Oh my
authentic.
God.
But before I
Oh
would
my
not
God.
I would not take it off. I would sleep just like that. Yeah.
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 Missy, come on.
No, a
Uncle
lot of,
Meka.
I think it comes sometimes too. I think it comes with age. When
Yeah.
a man like Brother Benz, said sometimes when you get to a certain age, some of these things don't bother you. Like me personally, I prefer somebody that just take your wig off, take all the makeup off. I don't want to wake up with the pillow turning brown, the white pillow turning brown. You know, but,
Uncle Emeka,
but do
your baby girl will hear this. So I be we hear.
yes, no. But the reason why I'm saying that is that at my age, the makeup don't mean anything. I'm 68. Makeup don't mean nothing to me. I'd rather have an intimate relationship than What are you doing with makeup by 2 o'clock in the morning? Take it off, wash it, go and take a shower, remove the wig, and let's rock and roll.
She deserves to be loved and be active. That's the line dominating social media after Annie Dibia,
What's going
actress,
on?
ex-wife of Nigerian.
What was that?
Dio, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, sir. I just wanted to help us make it make sense. During our father's era or during your own era, sir, when you were growing up as a young man, the level of deception and the level of masking, can you compare it with the one that we have now? And if not, what are the things that we see that are now causing people to be masking more than way back then? Can you please just compare the two eras?
Yeah, okay. During my time, number one, you have to understand that there was no social media, there was no internet, there was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, no social media at all. There's even no cell phone, not to talk of having a cell phone with camera. So The people you see in the magazines back then are like, models and sometimes functions. It's funny enough, today I forwarded something about the newscasters of the 80s and 90s at Uncle Ben's WhatsApp forum, So I think this issue of masking was revolutionized, especially and got worse during the Gen Z. These Gen Zs, I have no idea what they think, to be quite honest with you. I'm still learning them, The Gen Zs, if you follow their behavior, you can lose your mind. So I just let them do. But to answer your question, Brother Dio, during my time, which is 70s and early 80s, there was barely masking. There was none. Most people come as they are, and you can't hide anything. You can't claim to be an undergraduate when you are not in the university. People will fish you out. You can't claim to be anywhere that you are not. People will fish you out. But now, you know how many people that are answering doctors in Nigeria that never even finished secondary school?
It's true.
And they post it boldly, and people, I don't know. So it's kind of hard. Like I said, I didn't know the beginning of this discussion. What caught my interest was food, and I just wanted to clarify that there are some men that can cook. It's not everybody that don't know how to cook. Brother Dai, I don't know if that answers your question, because I'm really from the old school.
Actually, you are correct,
The
sir.
old
You are
school is the
100%
best.
correct. And I also like appreciate the fact that you make it clear. Internet and has greatly revolutionized everything for us, because even when we two were just coming in, I could remember very well there was no faking, no faking. I remember all the time that we were growing up as a young boy in school, in secondary school, like during those times, I could see clearly sincerity. Because one thing that I know is that even in schools then, when I was in uni, GSM came to Nigeria 1999. Okay, before that we have this phone. What's our net phone there that we are using. Then we have all these telephone booths. Then we have had
Turaya. Is
our
it Turaya?
no,
Is,
Ah,
oh
no,
try
no,
not
it.
Turaya.
it's Turaya.
Turaya, forget. No, not Turaya, please. We've had our land phone, our
That's
Oh, that's
what
Nitel.
Nitel.
That's
Nitel.
night. God bless you. Then after the land phone, we have Nitel mobile. That one Nitel mobile at that time. It's not GSM, just a mobile Nitel phone that we were using. And only people that have money, they were the one that they were the one that anybody you see with a Nitel mobile phone that time is a rich man. So
yeah.
I remember, but once now looking back now, sir, I used to wonder way back then, how do we communicate? Do you know if you want to go to your girlfriend's house? Now, this is during my own time. Now, if you want to go to your girlfriend's house, you have to send somebody or write a letter. I'm coming to your house 4 o'clock tomorrow. Wait for me at
Mhm.
home. And our appointment never fails.
No,
We keep our appointment. It never fails.
no,
No telephone
yes.
calls. You, but nowadays, I was just wondering, in our own days, how are we able to keep up with friends? How are we able to keep up with our appointment without telephone, without anything like that? But now everything has become so easy. So anybody can stand behind the phone, put on filter, and lie to you without you knowing it. You'll be seeing something
Right.
else. Meanwhile, it is something else that is behind the filter. It's so sad.
Hey, Chucky in the
Yeah,
building.
and during our time, there was nothing like cat fishing. You know what I
Catfish.
mean by cat
Exactly.
fishing, right? There was no catfish, and sometimes you actually have to write a letter 1 week in advance
Exactly.
saying exactly the day you will be
Exactly.
arriving and what time you will be arriving. And if it is the lady that comes from a very strict home, she has to figure out how not to be at the house during that particular period of time so that her parents don't kill her. You know, so dating in those days, actually, people caught in those days. We caught, and it takes you a while to, you know, actually get in a relationship. But now everything has changed. This internet is. This internet is, that's why they say that it's very dangerous on the streets of YouTube. You people that are on YouTube, I don't know how you. I tell Brother Ben every day, I don't know how you do it. I miss Missy. You have joined the group. Oh, I don't know how you're gonna be doing it. You're me. You never find me opening a YouTube channel unless I want to die early.
Well, I would
Can
tell you,
can I
I would
confess
say,
something? Can I confess something, sir? For the first time in so many years, I went to
Yes,
club last night to
Oh
go
my
and observe.
I saw you.
What I saw, Uncle Meka, I'm going to make a full report because
Everything have
IPS
changed.
that I must give the full report. I'm going to make the full report by tomorrow. Uncle Meka, what I saw,
Please,
my eyes did not hold it. Now,
please,
in fact,
let my
what really
Abby
pains
be.
me, Uncle Meka,
Hey.
millennials, they are competing with Gen Z in the club. In fact, I cannot believe it. Millennials, so they are competing with young Gen Z in the club for men. I can't
Bro, a
believe it.
lot of things have changed now.
yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Chucky
let's
is
have
in
a
the
Welcome,
public
Chucky.
building.
Chucky had something to say.
The Chucky, show your face, Anna.
I think Chucky is probably sleeping now, so maybe
I'm
he's in
okay,
bed.
sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, my brother.
The world. It's 3:20 in the morning.
Wow.
Mr. Baker,
Oh, wow.
good day to you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, sir. I don't know what you look like, but thank you. I'm not AI. I'm real.
Just imagine it, sir.
Chucky has on his mask right now. Chucky,
Just
take
imagine
the
it.
mask off, Chucky.
Thank you, sir. Nice meeting you too.
Anyway, good evening, UB. How are you doing? Naito, Uncle Dayo, I don't know why you're up by this time of the day in Nigeria.
I went to club. I just came back, so I just let me join my sister's show.
Yeah, Uncle Dayo is feeling the Gen Z spirit.
Oh my God.
So Chucky, what's your take on this AI masking, whatever they got going on now, in terms of what Missy is discussing? You know, people try to hide their true self under certain circumstances. What would you say to that, bro? Is Chucky here?
You know, you know
Okay.
what? Yeah, Uncle Meka said something which has just made me reminisce on what the past was. I mean, how simple things were back in those days. I mean, compared to now. I mean, when you were talking about at the back room, Uncle Meka mentioned something which made me go to some certain things that we didn't have in those days. How simple the world is. How imagine how we can imagine what the world is like. And when you look at things like that and you compare to things that now, I just feel like masking is just destroying this generation as it is right now. Being
Yeah.
who you're not supposed to be, being something else, being a monster if you want to be. But the
Mm-hmm.
problem is that the more you try to tame this generation of say, listen, this kind of where you're going is kind of dangerous. It's kind of dangerous to you to where it's going to lead you in the future. But they don't listen to this. We're just lucky that we have just 50-50, if you understand what I mean. We have the old school side of things, then we have the new generation side of things, and we know how to control those aspects. But we should be asking ourselves now, the new generation coming up, do they know how to control these things? So when I say things like that and they come up with all this masking is to get what they want, to
Mm-hmm.
get what they want by any means necessary. And sometimes you just like you wonder, is this the right path for that generation to be? You can see what's going on now because when I compared both generations, I sometimes wonder, did we have something in our system to give birth to this generation that we don't know of for them to be no to go crazy like this as it is today? Our generation was calm. Now I'm not saying that it wasn't calm, but it's just It was just simple back in those days. Like what Mr. Michael did back in those days, where you would normally, how do we communicate? Mind you, back in those days, I can guarantee you this: we don't know anything about African time compared to now. African time is just so there. That time back in those days, when once you meet that particular person, then you are saying to yourself, "Listen, we got to meet by 3. You got to meet by 4, 5, and we will be there by that time."
Yeah.
Or you want to meet your girl. It's love letters. We don't do love letters now anymore.
Yeah.
We don't do love letters anymore. This generation don't know anything about love letters compared to our generations, where we're sneaking love letters in our classrooms, shooting, eye winky and stuff like that. So when you say masking, it's just like you're trying to have a date. We're doing it on the phones. How do you know who the person is at the backside? We don't know. And the cases at this moment now is that there's so much cases of catfishing.
Exactly.
There's so much cases
Yeah.
of that, of not meeting the actual potential, not meeting the potential, and the race of uh, what's it called? There's so much going on, when it comes to masking, and I find it is very dangerous. If the panel understand
It
what I mean.
really is. We actually just had something come out from the school of there's an increased number of people who are pretending to be um, most of the time they're grown men and they're pretending to be 16, 17-year olds online so that they can talk to the younger kids and get them to do different things, and because they are acting, they're acting like they're the same age, so they build a trust with them, and then they end up getting them to do things they might have not normally have done. That's a big thing right now, and that's one of the dangers of the social media and the masking on social media. So that's one thing that is really dangerous. So, and it apparently have become really big because they actually sent out a newsletter and a text. They sent a newsletter, a text, and an email to warn the parents and to make the parents more aware. Which I always stay on top of that because I do have small children, to make sure that you know that's why I one thing I do is I keep a very close, tight leash on what my kids are on the phones and on social media doing. Actually, my oldest child, she's now 19. I actually made her write out why I should allow her to even be on social media when she was younger. So she did a whole presentation to why I should allow her to be on social media. But I even way back then, I saw social media getting to this point where we are today. So that's why I was already trying to protect my kids. But unfortunately, you can't protect them all the time because they are being accessed, at school. Everyone has a cell phone, everyone has a computer, a laptop, a whatever. It's just so, you know, available. So you can't just protect them at all times. You just have to give them the tools to let them know, hey, these people that you think that you are talking to online, just because you met them on a game doesn't mean that they are 16, 17, 13-year olds, that they could be deceiving you. So that's just the danger of the masking as it relates to social media.
Yeah, and Missy, one thing that just came to my mind as far as, this is a very, very huge, very huge topic, and has many branches. For example, I this term, fake it till you make it did not exist during our time, and I believe that the social media helped in promoting fake it till you make it,
Yes.
you know. And going along that line of fake it till you make it, that's also when younger people now hide behind the mask. They can actually be and that's how you put other people's profile, and some people
Mhm.
use it to con other people, but those things, at least to the best, or even if it exists, is very, very infinitesimal. This idea of people hiding behind the mask, or people trying to fake it till you make it, because these days, let me put it this way, at least in Nigeria, I can talk about Nigeria. Sometimes I've seen people that have no idea what they do for a living, but they're driving a very luxurious car. Some of them, I don't know where they live, and some of them don't even have a house, but they drive luxurious cars. And until they get into trouble, that's when you start be like, wow, I didn't know that this guy was living this life. But back in the day, almost everybody's lifestyle is known, you know. And I grew up in the eastern part of Nigeria, and the Igbos are known for being traders. And when somebody is from that area, they also know what they do. I remember back, right after the Civil War, the main means of transportation from Onitsha, where I was going to secondary school, to Lagos, where my aunties live, was there. I'm sure Uncle Ben must have heard of a Kennedy Lichuku transport.
Yeah,
So
of course.
then, or you use Bender line, and but now you, I, I've always thanked God that He didn't allow me to witness what Gen Zs are doing now, you know, and because I don't know if I would have survived Gen Z lifestyle, you know. So I really thank God that I'm old school, and I'm old school, but I'm not old fashioned, you know. Thank you.
Uh,
You say you are old school, but not old fashioned.
can I ask you a question, please, if you don't mind me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Do you think the current situation with the internet era, actually, with in Nigeria, do you think their morals, their traditional morals, they've lost it?
Um, if you want a generic answer, you know, I would say yes. Now, don't. But when I was in Nigeria, it's not. I mean, I left Nigeria in I left Nigeria in '85. That's 40 years ago. So 40 years. It's
I was
like
a baby
asking
then.
me, yeah, So, but like I said, even the dating system and stuff like that is not as magnified as it is now. It's not as rampant as it is now. I can remember that my sisters, but I don't remember them having a boyfriend when we were growing up. No. Even when
They
they
no
were in
bond
the
them well.
university,
Yeah,
they never
yeah.
brought anybody home.
No.
I mean, they're all married now, but when they were in the university, then I never saw my two sisters. I never saw. I only met their husband after they've gotten married. you know, so they hid those things very well because they know how our parents will react. If that happens. And. So
Yeah,
as far
exactly.
as the morality in Nigeria now, yeah, it is worse than it was back in the 70s and 80s. Way, 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 way worse. You know, and I don't even want to go into the religious aspect of it. The influence it has on what is going on now and what it was
Yeah.
back in the days.
Yeah,
This is a very broad topic that
yes,
Missy. This your topic should have a part two because we haven't even scratched the
we're gonna
surface.
have to because we're almost at 3 hours. We're going on 3 hours.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah. So if anyone, I would actually like to start closing this down. So can someone give us some last thoughts, some deep last thoughts, and then we'll have to close it down.
Yeah, I think everybody will give their last take. For me. Oh, by the way, shout out
Coach
to Coach
Michelle.
Michelle. Coach Michelle, that is love from
Yeah,
across border. That's you
that's my
should know her, Missy.
sister. My
Eh,
Cameroonian
or you should know
sister.
Michelle. So that's Michelle. Michelle showed up, man. You're so lucky, Missy. Um, Basically, my take on this topic, like Uncle Emeka rightly said, this is a very, very broad topic, and I think we need to really go deep into this conversation because a lot of people are living this life of masking, and it's not sustainable, to be frank. You see, Uncle Emeka spoke, Uncle Dio, and they really made it clear that during their time, even my own time, sef, even though I'm still like the tail end of Gen X, people are real. Right now, we have a lot of nonsensical stuff going on in relationship, in people's life. A lot of people are living miserable life right now because they are not being their real self. They have to mask a lot of things. And when you take out the mask, you get to see the truth, them, the struggles. So I think we might need a part two. But as we're ending this one, my advice to people is just be yourself, because I notice if you are authentic, people can see through you. A lot of people have asked me questions on this same YouTube space. People do call me sometimes and they will ask, Ben, how do you do it? You always have people, they always come to your channel and all of that. And I'll be like, I really don't do nothing, but I just guess that the people who hang around me, they just kind of see through me when they see me. You see what I'm saying? So I think that those are the benefit of less masking. Now, if I should come on social media and I put on a tie, look really good, design a very powerful, colorful studio, and I started faking accent, try to talk like John Lemon or somebody. Hey, hello, ladies and gentlemen, you welcome to Uncle B. Today we're gonna have this show. It's not gonna take long before people figure out like this is just one stupid guy who is probably to be someone else. So my last take is please be your authentic self. People love you the way you are when you are real. And once people love you just the way you are a winner. Or I don't know if Uncle Emeka and others agree with me, but that's just my own take. When you are real, you don't mask nothing. People can know that your right is right, your left is left. They feel comfortable around you because they know that no, there's nothing shady going on. So please, everyone, try to be yourself. Thank you for having me, Missy. And shout out to all the Real Fam members that showed up. God bless you all. Thank you very much. That's my last take.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay, if I can say something here.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I just want to appreciate everybody's contribution and I want to say thank you for hosting the show, my sister. God bless you. And based on what my brother,
Oh, you cut out.
It's probably network.
Um,
It's probably Nigerian network.
okay. Do y'all want to
Okay,
go ahead?
let me chime let me chime in. If it comes back, I'll stop. Um, like I said, this is a very good topic and a very interesting discussion. And like Uncle Ben said, there's nothing like being your real self. And you know the bad thing about when you mask is, eventually the mask is gonna come off. It's just a matter of time.
Exactly.
So why don't you just be your real self in what you do and in what you say? And Missy, your inaugural show, I was there. I watched your inaugural, channel, and you basically, put yourself out there the whole journey, family, raising family, marriages, and stuff like that. You are braver than me, because it's not that I can't say it, but sometimes, I guess that's the price you pay if you want to go on YouTube channel, so that people can see you the way you are. And that actually gravitated me. I'm saying, okay, I'm going to follow her channel, but unfortunately, I forgot to push the notification bell. But you have a very good platform. I don't subscribe to too many YouTube channels apart from Uncle Ben and Obodo Ibo Farm. I think this will be my third, YouTube channel. The other ones are just listening. I just listen to, and sometimes I don't comment. But I really applaud you for having us, and I will also thank the other people that were here at the beginning of the show. So thank you so much. You are doing a very good
Thank
job.
you so
And,
much. Thank you.
so good night.
Good night, Mr.
Are we done?
Okay, are you back, Pappy? I think we lost him again. All right. So, do you have some last words to say? Natu? I think we lost her too. All right. Are you here, Pappy? All right. Well, I think that we are going to end this broadcast, but I'm just going to end it with some last words. So remember, you were never meant to be a copy of someone else's perfection. That's what we see on social media, because you have time to edit, you have time to filter, and you have time to do take one, take two, take three, and several other takes. But you were made to be you. You were made to be raw. You were made to be real. You were made to be unfiltered. So until next time, keep your spirit loud, keep your truth louder, and your mask off. This is the Real MoJo Show, and I am Missy Jomo. Stay real, fam, and we will see you on part 2. See you later.